Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, the shocking, the satisfyingly juicy. Today we're looking back at your favourite insane parent stories of this year. My family's holding a promise from when I was 13 against me. Am I the a-hole? Posted by Looking Lost 3000. So, my brother, 33 male, and I received an inheritance from my father. At the age of 25, the money's released to you, if you want, or it can be left in a trust for future generations. For as long as he's had access, my brother's been wasting the money, completely and effectively wasting over $600,000 on cars, houses, etc. Holy guacamole! He now has almost nothing left, and has a debt to the IRS for not paying taxes on those transactions. He has a good job supporting his family, and has worked out a plan for his debt. I'm pretty proud of him. When I, 23 female, was 13, our family house burnt down. My brother had his money, which he then paid for the roof to be put on. I, at the time, promised to pay him back in the future. Wait, why as a 13-year-old were you expected to pay for this? Now, 10 years later, my family's bringing up this promise I made as a scared child to say that I owe my brother $30,000. The person who owes your brother that money for the roof is the person who actually owned the house that got damaged, not some 13-year-old. I've barely used my money, not even getting a car all these years, and only paying for monthly expenses. So I'm sitting on a little over $1 million, which I'm terrified to touch. I've had some dental issues, which I'm only now getting fixed because I've just been so hesitant to spend. Maybe it's the trauma of seeing your brother waste over $500,000. I don't know. For the last 5 years, I've lived in Florida. My brother's texted maybe twice and never visited. He hasn't brought this up to me, only my mum, who insists that I'm being a bad person by not standing by my promise. Even going as far as to say that I was acting as an adult at 13, so it counts as an enforceable promise. That's the kind of an excuse a PDF file uses? I'm guessing your mum is the person who owned the house that got burned, and is now trying to shift that responsibility to her, at the time, 13-year-old child. Why isn't she paying for it? Also, didn't she get left any money? Did she waste it all too? My mum makes it sound like my brother and his girlfriend are relying on this money, and talk about it all the time. Am I the a-hole? Nope, but I suggest you talk to your brother. I wonder if he's actually asking your mum for the money, since it's really her who owes him, and now she's trying to manipulate you into paying instead. Especially if she knows you're sitting on $1 million, that's gotta be tempting. Update. Firstly, a couple things to clear up. My biological father was the one who left us the money. My brother is not his. As a matter of fact, he disowned my brother before his death. Then, how did he have a trust? That's super sus. Now I'm worried your mother is a trustee and went against the deed to give your brother access to the fund that named you alone as a beneficiary. Might be time to speak to a lawyer in case she just dips her hand in and takes the money without your consent. The total of the roof is $30,000 from what they're telling me, which I am supposedly fully responsible for. I have no receipts and no proof. Even more sus. My brother didn't receive his money until after he was 25. We'd been using insurance funds until then, when it painfully became clear that it wouldn't be enough. No, I have no idea why my parents didn't take out a loan or something to finish the house themselves. Thank you all so much. I need opinions from outside the family. I will not be continuing this conversation with my mother. The only person I'll talk to about it any further will be my brother. Fantastic. I really wish there was another update, because I feel like there's way more to this story. Am I the a-hole for telling my family that I kept the gift I was going to give my sister, since we're apparently allowed to do that? Posted by MotorStray8487. My sister, 15 female, is the favourite golden child, the pampered princess, a title our parents gave her, and the light of our lives, another title from our parents. When we were younger, it wasn't so bad. She was easy to be around and we were close. I, 17 male, loved her, and even when she annoyed me, it was the normal stuff and I could get over being annoyed really quickly. but when she turned 8, it was like a different kid emerged. It all started with my parents helping her buy me a gift for Christmas, and then they let her keep it instead. I just got one less gift and she got one more gift for Christmas. Then she started doing that all the time, and it wasn't just me. There was a big fight at our old BFF's 10th birthday party because my sister regretted giving her friend the birthday gift that my parents helped her get, so she took it back. The birthday girl and her parents tried to stop her, but our parents told her that it was their money that bought the gift, and the birthday girl hadn't opened it yet, so they could decide to keep it. That ended that friendship, and my sister was forever blacklisted from several kids' birthday parties and even their houses after that. Anytime she made a new friend, the same thing would happen, and even at sleepovers, she'd pull the same BS by getting food just for her, with the money that our parents left for 2 or even 3 of them. I talked to her about that stuff a few times, but she just ignored me. One time I told her, she started crying and saying she didn't get why I hated her. I told her to stop being such a baby, and got in big trouble. When I told our parents that they were making her the worst to be around, they told me that we both get treated equally and any perceived favoritism was insecurity on my part and not actual favoritism. Our relationship got way worse, and then on my birthday last year, my sister told me that she had proved that she still knew me and we could be close, and she chose the right gift for me. But she kept it to herself because she wanted it, and then she claimed like 4 of the other gifts I got for Christmas. And because of my attitude both times, my parents didn't give me any gifts at all because they said I should be grateful for the thought. Yeah, it's totally not favoritism. It's just, your insecurity. I bet the people who bought him those 4 gifts would be horrified to learn that his parents had let his sister steal them from him. So I was like, F it this time. My sister's birthday wasn't too long ago, and I decided to buy myself something. And I got it for me, even though I knew she'd like it, but not just for that reason. Ever since I got a part-time job, my parents have insisted that I buy gifts for them and my sister out of the money that I earn, and I wasn't doing that. So on her birthday, I told them that I decided to keep the gift I got for her, since we're apparently allowed to do that. They literally aren't even buying OP gifts anymore, yet they're demanding that their teenage son buy gifts for them out of the money they earns? Yeah, what the F? My sister cried and asked me why, and basically whined that she really wanted to play the game I got, and she didn't know why I was such a jerk. My parents got so mad that I thought they'd pass out. They told me that I was such a bully, and for a boy to bully a girl is incomprehensible, but my victim being my own sister made it even worse. So they're admitting that she's been bullying him this whole time, and they've been enabling it? I told them that I was just doing what she was allowed to do, and I didn't see why it was bullying when I do it, but not when she does it. They told me that I did it maliciously, but she just got excited for the gifts. They said that she's younger, so she's not expected to be on my level. I was grounded for a while, but I was able to stop them accessing the game, so it's still mine. And I hid my money so they couldn't take it and make the purchase on my behalf. My sister asked me if I hated her, like halfway through my punishment, and I told her that I don't need to answer her, and I didn't want to speak to her. I told her she needs to leave me the F alone. It pissed my parents even more off, and they brought up the birthday stuff and said that I'm punishing my sister for being young. Am I the a-hole? Girl is 15, not 5. Down in the comments, some pointed out exactly what I was thinking. Not the a-hole, they're setting your sister up for failure, since they let her take back gifts that she got for other people, and even gifts that they bought you. She's going to expect that and think that she can do that as an adult. Imagine her trying to take the group gift that her coworkers got for the boss because I paid for part of it and I like it, so it's mine. HR is not going to be like your parents. Yep, I guess the parents are trying to give the kid the most magical childhood possible, but unless she's a literal princess, real life is going to hit her like a freaking truck. Ironically, the kid that they didn't really care about is actually the lucky one. At least OP's going into the world prepared. He'll probably have a way better life, Well, she's just gonna be so confused as to why the world just doesn't revolve around her. Wait, is this the origin story of a Karen? Entitled mother calls the police on me for stealing her daughter, who's my girlfriend, and an adult. Posted by Deranged Behemoth. Background. This happened about 5 years ago. My fiance Ellie and I have been together for 7 years this month. We were reminiscing about old stories yesterday when this one came up, and she suggested I share it. She was my girlfriend at the time, and at the time, I was fully aware that her mum was a few fries short of a Happy Meal, but this was the pinnacle of her behaviour. It's long, but has a happy ending. So, onto the story. Ellie and I weren't living together at the time. She just stayed over from time to time when she could. I took her home after she'd been staying with me for a couple of days and I was heading to work. But shortly after, just before getting to work, I get a phone call from her and I can tell that she's in tears. Apparently, when she got inside, Entitled Mother immediately blew up at her about where she'd been gone for so long, even though it was only 2 days. And she told Entitled Mother that she was going to be gone and kept in contact with her while she was gone. But Ellie just sort of brushed it off and went to her room. Entitled Mother's house was pretty much your stereotypical crazy cat lady's house. The house was basically decaying, cats all over the place, going into the bathroom in random places and whatnot. When Ellie gets to her room, she realises while she was gone, the cats pooped and peed all over a pile of her clean clothes. But whatever. Ellie decides to just bag them up and she would wash them next time she comes by my place. Her mum didn't have a functioning washer at the time. And apparently, that really set Entitled Mother off. Entitled Mother apparently thought that Ellie was bagging up her clothes because she was planning on going back to my place that night to stay for another few days. So she stomped into her room, grabbed the bag, and ripped it wide open, flung the clothes all over the room, along with the cat shit and piss, while screaming at Ellie that she's not going anywhere. That's when Ellie ran outside and called me. She was so upset and didn't know what to do. Her mum had been doing crazy stuff to Ellie since I'd been with her, but up until then, I just helped her however I could, without getting involved, and not saying a word to her mum. I told her to go ahead and get the things she needs and I'll take her to my place. She said she would love that. I told my work that I was going to be late due to an emergency and turned around to go pick her up. When I pulled back into the house, Ellie was in the driveway crying. I went and hugged her and told her it was going to be okay and that she could stay with me for as long as she wanted. So she went back inside to get her things. As I was standing outside waiting, I heard the door open again and went to help Ellie with her things. But, oh no, it's her mum. Entitled Mum comes stomping out with her hair crazy and frizzled in an old nightgown. She beelines for me and gets right up in my face. Entitled Mum, with an extremely thick, high-pitched southern accent. My daughter said I need to come out here and ask what you think of me. I knew that was a blatant lie, as Ellie would never instigate this. You got something to say, huh? You think I'm trash, don't you, huh? That's what you think, isn't it? Again, up until now, I'd completely kept my mouth shut and was trying to maintain that. But this woman was up in my face, freaking out, and was tormenting the woman I love. So I finally looked at her and broke my silence. OP, why do you treat her like this? Entitled Mother. What do you mean? That's my daughter! I worship the ground she walks on! OP. Oh really? So calling her a slut, bitch, cunt, and whore is worship? Yes, I've heard her say this with my own ears. Entitled Mum. I would never say anything like that! OP. Getting rather irate. P.S. I've heard you say it. Entitled Mum explodes. Get your effing ass off my property! Okay, I almost never find myself in situations like this, so I'm not used to it. I say that because after she said this, I pretty much saw red. I'm not proud of it, but I just started shouting every curse word in the book that I could possibly think of at the top of my lungs, while she went back inside the house. But thankfully, that only lasted for a few seconds, and I immediately calmed down. So finally Ellie comes back out with her stuff, we put it in the car, and I assume it's over. But Ellie then turns to me and says, "I'm sorry, but we can't leave yet." Me, "Why not?" Ellie sighed. "My mum called the cops." I sorta had a feeling that would happen, no big deal. So we just sat and waited for the cop to arrive. After about 10 minutes or so, a cop pulls up. Right as he does, entitled mother comes out of the house, and oh my god, yes, she was doing exactly what you think. She instantly puts on the fragile, brittle old lady act, hunched over and walking slowly, the whole gig. And of course, when the police officer asks her what happened, she has to pitch her entire medical chart to the guy. This woman has been terminally ill for 12 years. Lol. So, when she finally gets done trying to milk this poor guy for sympathy, she tells her version of what happened. Entitled mother, "Sir, he came onto my property and verbally attacked me. He's awful to me, sir. I've never done anything to him. He's turned my daughter against me and is trying to convince her to leave." At first he seems somewhat sympathetic to her, until he turns to Ellie. Police officer, "Ma'am, is this your boyfriend?" Ellie, "Yes, sir." Police officer, "Okay, and how old are you?" Ellie, "Sir, I'm 23. This was my favourite part because the police officer looked up from his notepad with a look of, "Wait, what?" Obviously, he thought Ellie was a minor or something based off of how entitled mother was acting, but quickly realised just what he was dealing with. Eventually, he turns to me. Police officer, "Okay, sir, please give me your version of what happened." I did so. Funny side note, at some point, the police officer looks up at me and says, "You look really familiar. Do I know you?" It actually turned out that the police officer and I had gone to high school together. Once we recognised each other, we laughed and shook hands and briefly chatted. This was hilarious because out of the corner of my eye, I see entitled mother has a big scowl on her face as she sees me getting friendly with the police officer. But anyway, the police officer puts away his notepad and turns to me. "Just FYI, he says, following with this heavy tone of, "I know you're fully aware of this and don't believe you're in the wrong at all, but I have to say it as a formality. Well, OP, she doesn't want you on the property, so be aware that if you do come back here, technically you can be charged with trespassing. Do you understand this as I've explained it to you?" OP, "Absolutely, sir." Entitled mother, "But sir, I want to press charges." Police officer, "He didn't do anything illegal, ma'am." Entitled mother, "But he verbally assaulted me." Police officer, "I understand that, and while that was ill-advised, it's not something I can arrest him for. He agrees that he won't come back on your property without your direct permission." Entitled mother, "Ugh, okay, fine, whatever. Ellie, come back inside." Ellie, "What? No." Entitled mother, "You heard the police officer. OP is leaving, and you're staying here." Police officer, "Whoa, ma'am, I did not say that at all." Entitled mother, but. Police officer, "Your daughter is not a child, ma'am. She's a full-grown adult. She has every right to go wherever she wants." Entitled mother, "I'm her mother. She lives under my roof. I told her she needs to stay here, so she needs to stay." Police officer, "No, ma'am, that's not how it works. If she wants to stay with her boyfriend, there is absolutely nothing you can do to stop her." Entitled mother starts fake crocodile tears and stomps back into the house in defeat. Ellie and I thanked the officer, got in the car and left, and we've been living together ever since. There's actually a happy ending, believe it or not. Entitled mother isn't really much of an entitled mother anymore. Over the years since that day, entitled mother has actually decided to make an effort to try and improve herself. I guess she realised that if she didn't make changes, she would lose her relationship with Ellie. So, entitled mother started taking advantage of her medical coverage and went to see a psychiatrist and got medication for the mental illness that she actually had, as opposed to all the ones that she made up. Since then, well, she's actually gotten way better. She takes the medication regularly and has a boyfriend that is an extremely kind man and treats Ellie as though she was his own daughter. So yeah, basically, entitled mother isn't really an entitled mother anymore. We actually get along really well and see them frequently, and we help each other out whenever we can. We actually look back on the early years when she was in fact an entitled mother and laugh. So not only is everyone getting along well, we can actually share in the cringe stories and happily laugh about them. My mum turned her guest room into a nursery after I told her that she'll never meet my child. Post by Morosa3. I'm currently pregnant with my first child, and both my mum and my stepdad have been terrible to me and my partner the entire time. They told us we'd be unfit parents because we aren't married yet, and literally screamed at my partner for knocking up their little girl, even though we planned this pregnancy. They would call him every day and harass him, even showing up to his work. They tried to convince him to leave me, so that I would have no choice but to move back in with them. It only got worse as time went on, and I finally decided to cut contact with them. Having a child is already a stressful time, and having them around was making it worse and was not something I was okay with. My partner and I have gone through a lot of family drama in the past few years, but having this baby has been one of the most exciting things for us. If my parents can't be nice to my partner, then they don't get to see our baby. One day I sent my mum a very detailed email about why she's not allowed to be part of my life anymore and will not be seeing her grandchild. To make things even better, I also noted that we'll be moving across the country shortly after she's born to be closer to other family members. So not only is she cut off, but we're literally moving far away and never coming back. She responded by showing up at our house at 11 PM, screaming outside the door about how it's her baby and she deserves to be there for it. I told her to F off and she eventually left. Months went by and she would text me randomly, asking about technical problems with a Wi-Fi router or something else she needs help with. Little things like that didn't mean much to me, so I sent her the info she needed. My cousin also had a baby shower and sent my invitation to my mum's house accidentally, so my mum came by to give it to me. Things slowly came to a point where we were fairly amicable with each other, but I still stood my ground about our boundaries and nothing else had changed, and she knew this. Then today, she sent me a video that blew my mind. She'd redecorated her entire guest room to be a nursery. Crib, changing table, $400 worth of new baby clothes, a toy chest, a stroller, a car seat for a car, and the list goes on. In the video, she's in tears, saying, "Oh my god, I can't believe my baby is going to be here soon. This is where she'll sleep, this is where I'll change her little diapers, these will be her toys." Is she psychotic? Her baby, sleeping and living at her house? What? So I call her up immediately and reiterate that we're still moving across the country soon, and that she'll have no contact with the baby before that. Her response? "Oh, okay, we'll see about that." Genuinely confused. What part of "you'll have no contact with this baby" does she not understand or will think will change in the next few weeks when she's born? Is she planning on stealing her from us? I'm at a loss for words. You should be worried. Very worried. Sounds like she's planning something serious. Edit. Thanks for the advice. I showed my partner the comments and we're starting to take this more seriously. I'll be contacting a lawyer on Monday. Update. So, my mum calls me after the birth, crying about how upset she is that I didn't invite her to be present for the birth, and also to congratulate me on giving birth to her baby. Then she asks when she can come see her. My partner and I agreed that my mother could see her one time, so I told her this, and her response was that she'd let me know when she's available, and I haven't heard a word since. It's been a week. Okay. Well, that works for me, because I didn't want her to see the baby anyway. We just wanted to give her a chance. So, first she demands to see her baby, creates a nursery for it and everything. Then, when she's offered that chance, she suddenly needs to check her schedule? What? This morning, I get a voicemail from her, asking to go on a resort trip for the weekend. I'm absolutely baffled by this. What is going on in her mind? I don't even know what to say. 1. I literally just gave birth a week ago. 2. We haven't really spoken in months, and all of a sudden she just expects me to go on a vacation with her? 3. I don't trust her with my baby. Even if she just wanted me to go, I'm not leaving my newborn. 4. I'm not taking the baby away from her father for that long just so my mum can hang out with her. I'm not responding to my mother. I'm starting to think that either she's seriously trying to manipulate me, or it's just not right in the head. Probably a mix of both. I gave her a chance to see the baby on my terms, and she didn't take it, so that's on her. Anyways, that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Have an amazing rest of your day. Bye!